Why does a piece of paper from another country never quite fit right when you try to print it? The reason comes down to one strange fact. Almost the entire planet uses a paper size called a 4, while America is one of the only places left still using something called letter paper. And that gap is not just a size difference. It is the trail of a decision that almost happened and then mysteriously disappeared. By the end of this, you will know exactly why American paper is shaped differently from the rest of the world, why the United States came shockingly close to switching over and then quietly walked away from it, and why the sheet sitting in your printer right now is secretly built around a piece of math almost nobody has ever noticed. Letter paper, the kind sitting in your printer right now, is 8.5 inches wide and 11 inches tall. It feels completely normal to you because it is the only size you have ever known. But almost everywhere else in the world, from Germany to Japan to Brazil, paper is sized using a system where each size is exactly half of the one before it, folded down the middle, over and over again. The largest sheet in that system can be cut in half to make the next size down, and that one can be cut in half again and again, with every single size keeping the exact same shape the whole way through. Here is the part that sounds like a magic trick the first time you hear it. That international paper system is built around a very specific shape, where the ratio between the short side and the long side is the square root of 2, a number that never resolves into a neat fraction. Letter paper does not do this. If you fold a piece of letter paper in half, you get a rectangle with completely different proportions than the one you started with, which means anything designed to fit perfectly on one size will look slightly stretched or shrunk on the other. If the kind of invisible math hiding inside everyday objects is something you find yourself wanting more of, subscribing is the easiest way to keep that feeling going. Now here is where it gets genuinely strange. The United States actually came extremely close to adopting that international paper size as the official standard. In the year 1980, a government office responsible for setting these kinds of standards across federal agencies actually proposed switching the entire country over to the international size, the same one almost every other nation already used. The change was drafted, discussed, and seriously considered as the new official standard for all government paperwork moving forward. And then, almost as quietly as it appeared, the proposal simply faded away. There was no dramatic vote against it, no big public announcement explaining why America would stay different. Government offices, businesses, and printer manufacturers had already built an enormous amount of equipment, filing systems, and paperwork around the existing letter size, and switching everything over would have meant replacing binders, folders, printers, and forms across an entire country all at once, for a change most people would barely notice in daily life. So the proposal was quietly dropped, and letter paper simply kept being letter paper, not because anyone decided it was better, but because nobody wanted to be the one to deal with changing it. What makes this even more interesting is that the rest of the world had already gone through this same painful transition decades earlier, switching their printing presses, typewriters, and office supplies all at once during a period when paperwork was far less complicated than it is today. America missed that window by waiting just long enough for switching to become genuinely difficult, and then kept missing it again every decade after that, until an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper became something Americans simply assumed was the normal size paper had always been everywhere. So the next time you load a printer, or fold a letter into an envelope, or notice that a document from overseas looks just slightly off when you try to print it, you are looking at the leftover edge of a decision that almost happened, sitting quietly in a drawer in every office in the country. It is a reminder that some of the most ordinary objects around you are not the result of someone choosing them on purpose, but the result of a choice that almost got made and then simply never did. And if moments like that are the kind of thing that sticks with you, subscribing means there is always another one waiting for you next time.